3, 2, 1. Greetings and salutations in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach. My name is Elia ben Yisrael, and I've been meaning to do some recordings like this for some time. I finally got the camera. We live in a pretty screwed up world, as all of you can pretty much tell simply by reading the headlines of your controlled newspapers, your controlled media. And when I say controlled, I mean exactly that. You'll find that our press is pretty much no longer free. A lot of truth has been suppressed from the masses. One of the biggest areas of truth that has been compromised is the good news of the original Messiah, Mashiyach, whose name is Yeshua. Yahweh is salvation. I just have to say that 99% of the so-called mainstream Christian churches are simply preaching and teaching another Jesus. And I'm not saying that one cannot love the Messiah and only know the Greek name given to him. As a matter of fact, when I first came to repentance and belief in my need for a Mashiyach, I only knew him by his Greek name. Yahweh has called me out of Babylon, as he has called many of you out also. Our Sunday churches are compromised. They teach such fallacies as the pre-trib rapture and other bigger fallacies such as the Torah being done away with, when in fact the Mashiach says not to think such things. If you read Matityahu chapter 5, 17 to 20, and you listen to the words of the original Mashiach, you will come to understand that it was never his intention to do away with the Torah. He brought in the new covenant, a new cutting, if you will, that was spoken of in Yirmiyahu, Jeremiah. And this new covenant was spoken far in advance by Yahweh. The covenant consisted of course, renewing us to the Father, and putting the Torah in us, and then the Torah being written on our hearts, which is not it's not a new concept. The circumcision of the heart is nothing new. It's basically being born from above. Again, the concept of salvation is nothing new. As a matter of fact, we've all been saved by the same grace and the same mercy that was there for all mankind from the very beginning with Adam and Hawa, or Adam and Eve. And even the good news of Mashiach was spoken of in Bereshit, Genesis chapter 3, the seed of the woman, and of course later on to be known as the seed of Abraham. So, if our pastors are teaching us that the Torah was done away with, they're actually teaching the opposite of what the original Mashiach taught. And everybody here knows what the opposite of Mashiach is. It's anti-Mashiach. Or to put it in terms some of you might understand more clearer, anti-Christ. Anti simply means to be instead of, or opposed to, or opposite of. Just like the word nomos in the Greek stands for Torah. Well, the word anomia is the opposite of Torah keeping, which is the definition of sin. The definition of sin is the breaking of Torah. I usually ask people, what is your definition of being a Christian? Or what is your definition of sin? People, Yahweh has told us what sin is, and it's very simply the breaking of Torah. That's one of the reasons the Torah was given, to lead us to Mashiyach, to keep us on the right path, to recognize the Mashiyach when he came to be. Now, unfortunately, many people don't understand the concept of two comings of Mashiach. One being the coming of Mashiach ben Yosef, and the other being the coming of Mashiach ben David. Now, there are many Jews today that are anticipating the coming of Mashiach ben David. And my prayer for them is that they indeed would be ready for that. I would pray that their eyes would be open to the fact that this same Yeshua, who kept Torah perfectly, who upheld the Torah, not only was Mashiach ben Yosef, but he is the coming Mashiach ben David. Now, unfortunately, there is coming one who will deceive many, and I highly urge all of you to be very familiar with Matityahu chapter 24, because Mashiach told us that there would be false messiahs or false Christs performing various signs and wonders. Don't take my word for it. I would simply pray that all of you would cry out to Yahweh and ask that He would open your eyes, that He would open your understanding to the way He intended His word to be understood. And some of you might have to forsake some of the traditions that you grew up with. I had to. I was not raised in Torah. I was raised against Torah, if you will. I never knew Torah. I wish that I had been raised in it. And it brings great sadness to my heart when I think about the years I spent walking against what Yeshua actually taught. Of course, it was done out of ignorance, but nonetheless, I was still walking in sin. But there's nothing I can do about that now, except simply try and warn as many people as I can to look at the words of Yeshua more carefully. Don't take anybody's word for it, but read about him yourself, and especially you Jews out there that have a heart for the Torah. I would ask that you would simply read Yeshua's words and stop listening to what many of your sages have said of him. A lot of it was said out of spite and envy. So I guess, I don't know, I'm getting off on a tangent here, but I hope to put more teachings out there. And again, I don't want to elevate myself, nor do I want a following. I would love to live within a community of Torah observant believers. That's my heart's desire. Unfortunately, in the day and age in which we live, community living is, I don't want to say outlawed, but it's definitely not the way it is. I almost think that we were structured to live so close to people and yet not even know our own neighbors. We no longer grow our own food. We're dependent upon the system, if you will. I would love to get away from that and eventually simply live in peace. I'm not an insurrectionist. do not wish to take up arms against this government or any government. Yet I do believe that one can protect his family and self. Again, I'm not saying to deny the Mashiach or to deny Torah at any point in one's life, regardless of how you're being tortured. And I do pray that Yahweh would give us much strength to endure the things that are coming. I guess that's it for now. Shalom.